Coming up next, we will talk again with our patient Jim about his life now after the LVAD. Plus, Dr. Schwan explained why Toledo has been selected for this LVAD procedure.
How does science advance the art of healing hearts? Through breakthrough discovery and treatment, the work of the foremost heart specialists at the region's only university medical center, the University of Toledo Medical Center, a higher degree of healing. How does discovery accelerate a stroke victim's recovery? Through breakthrough science and treatment, the work of the foremost neurologists at the region's only university medical center, the University of Toledo Medical Center, a higher degree of healing.
A warm hunting cabin, a tent pitched on the lake, the Maumee River packed with fishermen. I'm Matt Markey, and this is my outdoors. We'll look under the water in Lake Erie and in our many rivers and streams. We'll turn over a few rocks in the fossil park in Sylvania. We'll watch eagles nesting, hawks hunting, and ducks and geese filling the sky. There's no limit to what we can see and experience in the outdoors, and we'll investigate it all. I'm Matt Markey, Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday in the Blade.
Is your heart clock ticking? It's time to change your future with Toledo Cardiology Consultants.
For years, it has been common knowledge that people who are under a lot of stress have an increased risk of heart disease. But what can be done about it? Have fun, dance, golf, sing, garden, experience love. Your heart will thank you. Smile at life, it will smile back at you.
To learn more, go to WTOL.com, Health Track.
Because time waits for no one. Just going back to the point Jim just mentioned earlier about the congestive heart failure, it's really the definition of weakness of the heart muscle for multiple reasons. It could be ischemic or blockages in the arteries, it could be valves problem, it could be infection, as we're going to see many patients having these issues in the next few episodes. And we're going to talk about it with Jim right now about the device itself, which was inserted surgically by the surgeon during a major open heart surgery. And he has a controller for that machine. Probably you remember the Vice President Cheney, who had this device done a few months back, and that was a transitional period for him to end up on the transplant list, and successfully he had the transplant a few weeks ago. And Jim, tell me, what do you have here?
This is the controller. Basically, it's the computer that runs the pump, and I have to wear this 24/7. And during the daytime, I'm on batteries, and at night I switch over to a controller that's plugged in electrically.
Are you scared that the battery will be dead?
Well, they gave me 8 batteries, and there's a signal. This controller, it's got tons of bells and whistles. If the battery gets low or the batteries get low, it will give you a signal to change them.
That's the point I was trying to make, basically. These are very safe technology at this point. Everything, it's alarming, and it's ahead of time. It's not like few minutes, and he doesn't have the time to do the changes which is necessary for this. It just happened a few hours probably before it's needed. Also, we are going to talk to Amy, who took care of Jim after he had his surgery. And Amy, just tell me, how was it the recovery for Jim?
Oh, well, taking care of Jim afterwards was a little intimidating, but it's pretty exciting, though, to see these patients get a new lease on life with this new device.
Did you feel proud that you have it here in the center, and we are really part of the process and the work?
Absolutely. I think this is really great for Toledo.
I think Jim is going to nominate himself to be the vice president next.
Okay. I'll vote for you.
There you go.
Good. From the medical standpoint, taking care of this device and the process after the procedure, was it more complicated, or it was like standard taking care of everything post-open heart surgery?
Oh, no, it's not standard. It's very complicated, and there's a lot to learn, and we're all excited to have this here at the university, and we're all learning a lot about it, and he's teaching us, and we're teaching him, and it's been awesome.
Excellent. Again, I want to mention that the University Center is one of the few centers in the country who are eligible, and they are doing this device. It's not a simple procedure, it's a complicated procedure, and it has to be trained staff and trained physician to do this procedure, and we are very proud to have it in our community. Welcome back. It's my pleasure to introduce to you today Dr. Thomas Schwann, who is the chairman of the Cardiothoracic Surgery in University of Toledo. And he is one of the experts we're going to discuss over the next few weeks with about some of the open heart surgery, minimally invasive procedure. But today we are concentrating with him about two things. The first one is the LVAD, which we discussed earlier with another expert. And at the same time, we're going to talk about minimally invasive surgery. Tom, thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So we discussed the LVAD, left ventricular assist device. Just tell me, what was the reason you decided to support and bring this program to our community?
Well, this is a resurrection of a program that was here for a long period of time. It was a lot more complex. The devices were a lot more difficult to implant. The patients were having a lot more, their success rates were substantially lower. The discomfort was substantially higher. And somewhere in the early 2000s, that program, principally because due to the death of one of the principal supporters of that program, because of his death, the program went by the wayside. And we felt that at this point, given the fact that the explosion of congestive heart failure persists, we believe that it would be a community-based asset to bring it back to Northwest Ohio and resurrect it. And over the years that we have not been participating with the LVAD program and mechanical circulatory support, there's been dramatic differences and dramatic improvements, such that the operation is much easier, the outcomes are much better, the durability is much longer, and the patients can really benefit. We do know that given the fact that our patient population is aging and the fact that the transplant numbers will not increase due to the shortage of donors, the only solution is a mechanical solution. And consequently, as the technology continues to improve and evolve, we believe that this is something that Northwest Ohio and the university, as well as all the physicians within our community, could bring to our patients.
Specifically, we introduced to the patient that if they have that heart failure, to talk to their doctor, maybe they are a candidate for this. This is really what your goal.
So our imperative is exactly as you had enunciated so very nicely. From our perspective, this is a community-based resource. We have no other services that are available to our patients within the community. We are currently partnering for potential transplantation with the University of Michigan as well as Ohio State, so that the patient can be evaluated, can be treated, can have their mechanical circulatory device implanted here in their own community without having to travel. And then when an organ becomes available and they are a transplant candidate, then that relationship would have been cemented, and then the patient leaves the community for the transplant and then would come back here for further care. And the hope is that, once again, this is a community-wide and community-based endeavor and a community-based asset with support from various medical centers and various clinicians.
Great. I think we are very glad to have this program in our community, no question about it.
Are you constantly worried about your loved one's health while they live alone? Are you considering moving them to a nursing home or assisted living facility because you think there is no other option? Well, now there is an alternative.
Blood pressure received. Blood pressure is 180/70.
Let Advantage Home Telehealth's trained nurses provide around-the-clock remote monitoring of your loved one's health, while they enjoy the comfort, convenience, and security of being in their own home.
Received. Blood glucose is 137.
With our Bluetooth-enabled technology, Advantage Home Telehealth gives you the freedom and mobility to do the things you want to do, anytime, anywhere.
Pulse ox received. Pulse 80 beats per minute. Oxygenation 98.
And now I'm happy baking cookies with my granddaughter.
Now I can spend my Sundays watching football with the guys.
Making our dream of seeing Niagara Falls a reality.
Is your heart clock ticking? It's time to change your future with Toledo Cardiology Consultants.
For years, it has been common knowledge that people who are under a lot of stress have an increased risk of heart disease. But what can be done about it? Have fun, dance, golf, sing, garden, experience love. Your heart will thank you. Smile at life, it will smile back at you.
To learn more, go to WTOL.com, Health Track.
Because time waits for no one.
A warm hunting cabin, a tent pitched on the lake, the Maumee River packed with fishermen. I'm Matt Markey, and this is my outdoors. We'll look under the water in Lake Erie and in our many rivers and streams. We'll turn over a few rocks in the fossil park in Sylvania. We'll watch eagles nesting, hawks hunting, and ducks and geese filling the sky. There's no limit to what we can see and experience in the outdoors, and we'll investigate it all. I'm Matt Markey, Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday in the Blade.
In summary, if you start having any symptoms to suggest congestive heart failure, please try to talk to your doctors, because it's so easy to detect the problem and get the appropriate treatment at the right time. So for that reason, don't be one of those patients who is going to require more aggressive measures, including surgical interventions like using the LVAD to save their lives. Because remember, I always say, time waits for no one.